Welcome back to the Cash Flow Podcast. I'm going to talk about something that right off the bat is going to piss about 50% of you off. But I ask you to hang on to the end because I've got some really good ideas on how to turn things around, okay? The topic here is that content creation is not a business model, okay? Another way to look at it is followers don't pay your rent, all right? So we want to start off with the fact that I know I'm pissing a lot of you off, but content creation is not a business model. It's a marketing strategy, okay? But before the content section explodes, before you just turn this thing right off, I'm not saying don't create content. I'm not even saying you can't make money from it, but I'm saying that if your whole business plan is build an audience and figure out how to monetize it later, you don't have a business plan, okay? You have a really expensive hobby that might, and for some people does, accidentally make money and consistent money. Granted, I'm a 63-year-old CFO who's been out there for 30 years doing this work, but I'm going to explain to you why 90% of the content creators are basically building on quicksand, and why and how 10% of them make it work, and how you can be part of that smart 10%. Okay, so this is Boomer versus Zoomer, our new segment, and today we're going to talk about the difference between content and commerce. So let's talk about the delusion. Let's talk about what you're actually selling. I want you to look at what you're doing and listen to some of these examples. The content creator's dream is that you got 100,000 followers, your brands are reaching out to you, sponsorships are rolling in, you're making 10,000 a post just for talking, you're working in Bali in a bikini, you're retiring your parents. Okay, that's the dream. Well, what's the reality for the 90%, right? You got 50,000 followers, you've been posting for 2 years daily, you're getting offers from brands for maybe $300 and some free product. Your sponsorships are really inconsistent and quite frankly, they're soul crushing. And you make 2,000K in a good month. You're burned out, the algorithm's screwing with you on all the platforms, and you're living with with roommates at 32 years old. I know I sound like a jaded old lady, but I'm not here to do that, and I'm not here to judge. I can see in my practice how to fix this. I have clients with 200,000 followers who are broke, but I also have clients with 5,000 followers who are making 50K a month. What's the difference? There is one easy difference that I can highlight for you right here, and you can decide which camp you're in. The broke ones are content creators. The successful ones are business owners who create content. So let me run some numbers on this so it can make sense for you. Here's the math that doesn't work, all right? Let's say that I have 50,000 followers on Instagram, and I've got a 2% engagement rate. So I literally get about 1,000 people who really see what I do. And then of that 1,000, I get a 1%, sort of an industry standard conversion rate. So let's say there are 10 people out of all that are willing to buy something, and what I sell is $50. So I'm getting monthly revenue of $500. Great, but what am I spending? I'm spending 20 hours a week creating that content. I'm spending $200 a month on subscriptions, Canva, CapCut, all the stuff we need to deal with it. I'm spending $300 a month on props, lighting, videographers, all the things. Going around and traveling or going to coffee shops or wherever I have to go to get the content. And my sanity, all right? All of that's what I'm spending. So I'm working 80 hours a month to make about $500, which if you do the math is about $6.25 an hour, which you could literally get better at Starbucks with healthcare benefits. All right, so smartass, what does work? Here's what actually can work. It's the business models that are hidden inside content. And I'm going to give you 4 of these, 4 examples of them, okay? So the first one is content as lead generation. This is what I do, all right? I have a podcast. Hello, you're listening to it. I also run a CFO practice and a bookkeeping company and a small group. All of that information's down in the comments if you want to check it out. But the podcast doesn't make me money directly, but it does make me money because it establishes me as an expert. People trust me before we even have our first conversation, so I don't even have to close a sale. They're closing it when they call me. They reach out to me for those CFO services, and I close those clients at $3 to $10K a month. Okay, so it's costing me around 10 hours a month. It's costing me money around, I don't know, maybe $2,000 a month, and it brings me 20 to 40K in client revenue, new client revenue monthly, about every quarter. That's a business model. Your content has to be selling something that has higher margin than the $300 sponsorships, okay? What's a second model? Maybe you're not a CFO, but here's a second model. You're going to have content and products that you have along with it. Emma Chamberlain has a 12 million followers, but she didn't get rich from AdSense. She got rich from Chamberlain Coffee, right? The content built the audience, the product monetized it. So let's say, for example, you're a fashion creator. You could have an online boutique, drop ship or print on demand stuff. You could sell a styling service, 200 to 500 grand per session minimum. My stylist charges more than that. You could get a course on building a wardrobe at 90 to 200 bucks a month that people could pick up. So your content's proving you know fashion, which is what you need to establish your expertise, but your products are going to capture the value. Okay? What's model 3? You could have content plus services. So you could be, say, a fitness creator, and you go around and you film all sorts of wonderful fitness advice for people. You have 80,000 followers. Maybe you're making around $1,500 a month for sponsorships before this, but restructure this business. And instead of just getting sponsorships, do some one-on-one coaching. Do some coaching for $2,000 a month to take on 5 clients. Do some group coaching, around $200 a month. Get like 30 people into the program. This is something a lot of fitness people are doing, especially focus on the boomers, right? Who need things to know how to loosen their neck muscles, keep from ending up like hunching 80-year-olds. All the things that we need to do. I'll tell you what, I save off this content like there's no tomorrow. And when the time comes, I'm going to call one of these people, the one I trust the most, to be my fitness coach to make sure that I end up still standing up straight and walking like a 50-year-old instead of a 90-year-old. Okay? So you could get your revenue then to go from something like $1,500 if you use these 2 examples to around $16,000 a month. Okay? What's model 4? This is community type building. And this is like, I follow day trading, and a lot of the day trading guys out there who are making real bucks on content are doing this. They create a community. They create something, either a Patreon or a subscription service or a Discord service or a WAP service, whatever it is. They create member sites where I'm going to keep wanting to go back to day in and day out, right? And they get a bunch of people, in most cases, 500 or more people paying $20 a month, getting $10,000 a month in predictable recurring revenue. Most businesses don't get that, not even just content creation businesses. Okay, and one more thing, those 500 people who are paying these trader guys who do these wonderful shows and memberships, they're actually way more engaged in the content than they would have been if it was free anyway. Okay, all those people who followed you for a while and forgot you exist. So what can you do about this? What's a good action step you can take? And I'm going to have you say, let's do a revenue structure audit for your business. You should do this anyway, even if it's not just content creation, but pull out a piece of paper or pull up your app, whatever you work in, and write down every single way you made money last month. Sponsorships, affiliate links, ad revenue, products, services, subscriptions. Okay, now the key question. Ask yourself what percentage of that revenue comes from things that rely on the platform algorithm, be it Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever it is. If it's over 50%, you're in trouble, because we all know that when Instagram changes the algorithm, not if they do, when they do, your income vanishes for a while. And this has happened over and over and over and over again to really, really good content creators. So you want to make sure that way more than 50% of your income is coming from things other than specifically the platform directly. Okay? So how do you go through this? What's your transition plan? All right? How are you going to build an actual business around your content? It's going to take you through a couple phases here. First of all, you want to figure out what you're really selling. This could take you a couple months, but go ahead and do it. Here's the question you need to answer. What problem do I solve? Okay, what is it I actually solve? And I'll give you some examples. A fashion creator, you help people look good without spending a fortune. A finance creator like me, I help people stop being scared out of their money. A fitness creator, you help people get strong without hating their lives. You help people like me keep from getting my shoulders to hunch. What about a food creator? You help people cook easy and delicious meals. Hey, I'm Pam Pryor, and I'm so glad you're listening to our podcast. I want to let you know about 2 different things that we offer and that may or may not be suited for you right now, but I want you to know they're there. We have an option for folks who really only need a touch base every now and then, need to ask some questions, need to have a office hours where they can come in and say, hey, I've got a specific question, can you help me? Hot seats and a community. That is our offering called K.I.S.S, which is the Keep It Simple Squad. And you can join us for $100 a month. That's it, $100 a month. And if you're one of the first 100 to join, you are also going to be a founding member for life at that rate. I love that part of my business. I get to spend time with all sorts of different entrepreneurs and address all sorts of questions. And the really cool thing is in that group, very often one person will dare to ask a question that plenty of other people want to hear the answer to. So it ends up being very useful. There are flexible office hours. We also have some events that we get together for, etc. But take a look at that group. We'll have the link for it down here. It's the Keep It Simple Squad. The other thing we have is a clarity call. And this is a high-end offer. And if you're ready for a high-end offer and the decisions about your business or financially, then I want you to take a look at this link. It explains itself, but it is basically me holding your hand with you for 90 days to drive exactly what you need financially in your business, and then making sure that it is sustainable for you, whatever the path for your business is and for you personally. So our link's down there for the clarity call at all. Please feel free to grab either one of those that makes sense for you. If you have any questions about it, drop me a DM, drop it in the comments to this podcast, and we will be sure to get back to you. Thanks. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. You've got the problem. It's time to create the solution. How are you going to solve this problem? The solution is going to be your product or your service, not your content. Your content's going to prove you can solve the problem. Okay? So what's this question now? You want to make sure that you create your first offer. All right? You're going to keep it simple. You need one thing to sell that's going to cost more than $100. Here are some options. A digital project, a course, a template, pack, a guide. Focus on AI now and some of that stuff. It's a lot, very popular stuff. A service, right? You need coaching or consulting or done-for-you stuff. That'll run you in the $200 to $2,000 a month range. A physical product, something with your own brand, right? Something like Emily Chamberlain did. Or a curated box even. Those are really big. I actually get one of those called Bespoke. I should get them as a sponsor. They're very cool, curated box. Excuse me. You can even brand it yourself so that you get your brand out there more in a curated box. Or a membership community access type thing with exclusive content like my Trader Bros are doing. Okay, $200 to $100 a month per person. I don't care which one you pick, but pick one and make sure it's good enough to sell. Not perfect though. Don't get perfection paralyzed. Just make sure it's good enough. Now, here's where people freak out. But Pam, if I start selling, I'm going to lose followers. It's not true. This is phase 3. Yes, you're going to lose some followers, but here's the reality. You know who you're going to lose? The people who are never going to buy anything from you anyway. Trust me, I've been there. But you know who you're going to attract is people who will buy. So what should your new content mix be? And we'll drop this in the notes just so you have it. 60% valuable free content, same as before. The guys who were telling me how to do exercises to keep my back straight, my head up, my shoulders not hunching, not gaining weight into my 60s and 70s and 80s. 20% of the time, I want you to sell your offer. I want you to have tutorials on how it works, testimonials, benefits. Talk about it. Be transparent about it. How is it changing lives, okay? And then the other 20% is personal connection, behind the scenes stuff. I don't do enough of this. In fact, I keep reminding myself I need to do more of it. Just did one today because I was writing this script, putting this script together. With help from AI, by the way, speaking of AI inside of businesses. You're not becoming a sleazy business person if you do this. You're becoming a business owner who actually helps people. All right, so what's phase 4? Okay, you need to diversify your platform. Here's where the boomer wisdom comes in handy. Don't build your business on rented land. You are nothing but a renter on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't care which one it is or if it's all of them. You don't own them. They can ban you. They can tank your reach. They can change their algorithm. They can go out of business tomorrow. They can be bought by each other over and over and over again. Hi Meta. Okay. Hi Google and YouTube. You need an email list. You own your email list. They cannot take it back from you. You need a website, even a simple one. If you want, drop a comment in here. I can refer you to the people who build the best of these, okay? And not the best of the best websites out there, but the best of the simple websites that actually get traffic. And then you need a way to collect payments that's not through the platform you're renting on, right? Stripe or QuickBooks or whatever it might be. So start migrating your real fans off the platform and into your ecosystem. Email them, text them, give them a reason to follow you somewhere you have complete control. Okay? So here's the uncomfortable truth. Content is the cheapest, most saturated form of value right now. This is a red ocean, guys. Every 19-year-old with a ring light thinks they're a creator, and the market is flooded. But you know what's not saturated? Actual solutions, actual products, actual expertise, and today, actual human interaction, not AI generated. Your content should be the billboard, not the business, okay? So here we go. Let's talk about some success stories, about some real people making real money. And these are folks that I've worked with or watched or observed, and I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent, but I want to go through some of them. So Sarah is a career coach. She started as a LinkedIn creator with 40K followers. She posted advice about resumes and interviews. She monetized it originally with $300 sponsorships from job boards. So she was making about $1,200 a month, working around 30 hours a week just on content, right? What was the shift? She created a resume template pack. Guess what? Hello, AI. We can do that for you now. She added a course on interview prep. She started offering one-on-one coaching, and she built an email list of 5,000 people right out of the same content. So what are her new numbers now? And these are a few weeks old or a few months old, but I'm going to go ahead and give them to you anyway. She's got template sales of $4,000 a month. She's got course sales of $3,000 a month. She has coaching of $6,000 a month. That's 2 passive revenue streams where she doesn't have to do anything, and 1 that she gets actively involved as a coach. So now she's gone from what used to be $1,200 a month to $13,000 a month, right? And her creation time has shrunk because she doesn't have to create all the time. Same expertise, same content quality, but she just put enough business infrastructure underneath it to turn it into a moneymaker. Okay, here's another one. This is a finance guy I know. We'll call him Marcus. Started on TikTok explaining investing. Hugely successful, 120,000 followers. I followed him. At first, all of his monetization was on having a creator fund and sponsorships, and he made about $2,000 a month. But I'll tell you what, that was algorithm dependent. He would make $2,000 a month for 4 or 5 months in a row, and then he'd get nothing. Literally fall off a cliff because he had no idea what the hell happened to the algorithm. I know you've all been through that. So what shift did we make? He created a paid newsletter. Again, hello AI. Tons of help now for that to really expedite it. He built a community in Discord at $25 a month, started to offer portfolio reviews for about $200 each, and then he started an investment club membership for $50 a month, okay, where people got involved with him to figure out how to place their investments, sort of like my trader guys. So what are the new numbers now? And again, these are a little bit outdated, but I'm sure they're only better. He now has a newsletter with 400 subscribers, getting $4,000 a month. He's got a Discord with 200 members. With some turnover, but it stays about 200 members for $5,000 a month. He does these portfolio reviews. He does about 10 of them a month. It makes $2,000. Total, he's making $11,000 a month now in recurring. TikTok could die tomorrow. TikTok could be banned tomorrow. TikTok could be sold tomorrow. It could be taken over by people who will control its agenda tomorrow. Doesn't matter. He's got people on his mailing list. He owns that list now. Right? You see the pattern with both of these. They're building an audience with the free content. They're identifying a specific problem they could solve. They're creating a solution. They're getting people into their own ecosystem. And now they're going to make consistent money whether the algorithm changes or not. So what's your action plan on this? You can see the logic. I know you can. Baby boomer or not, I know you can see the logic. So how can you be the 19-year-old that succeeds instead of the 19-year-old that just becomes lost in the Red Sea? Number 1, know what problem you actually solve. Sit down and figure out what you help people do or sell to people. Number 2, create 1 paid offer this month. We happen to have 2 right now, but you create 1 this month. shift 20% of your content. I know this is the hardest part, to selling that offer. And selling doesn't mean you get on there and sound like the guy who used to sell whatever that cleaner was. It just means you start sharing the benefit of what you offer and telling people it's available. Okay, that's not sleazy. 4, I want you to build an email list and get people off the platform. You can still talk to them on the platform, but make sure you have them in your ecosystem on your email list as well. And then take a measure. Are you making more money per hour of work as this thing starts to take off? Now, here's the other thing I would do, and I learned this from a great mentor of mine. Give it 90 days. Like, don't give up in 15 days. Give this 90 days. Shift the business model. Do the thing. Do the 20% of the selling. Create the product that you're going to sell. And again, AI can help with all of this. But then as you're doing that, wait 90 days before you make a decision. I would bet my bottom dollar you're going to see an improvement in your revenue streams, and you're still going to be a very well-known content creator. Bottom line, content's a tool. It's not a business, so build your business first, then use the content to fuel it. And if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I just want to be a content creator, that's fine. Know you're choosing to work on the most volatile, low-paying, burnout-inducing careers available, and that's your right. But don't call me in 3 years when you're broke and exhausted. This is Boomer versus Zoomer. A little bit of a Boomer lecture. Very big appreciation for the Zoomer talent in the creation space. I want you to go build something now that makes money, and we'll see you next week on Boomer versus Zoomer.